You are not taking my stage right now. All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Slick Speaks. And on Slick Speaks, I like to brush up on all the topics and all the discussions that you really raise your eyebrows and, you know, you have to address the elephant. But on this Slick Speaks, just like, I say the previous Slick Speaks, I have now been shining a light on Broward, especially Broward talent. It's not like I'm mostly focused on Broward. It's just like I feel like, you know, Broward is kind of a pillar that kind of gets brushed under the rug. But I have with me today Mr. Danny Anthony. You can bring him over. How you doing, Danny?
I am good. How are you?
Oh man, you know, I'm just hanging in there. Like, honestly, there's been a lot of moving pieces, and I know with me and you, there's been a lot of, like, you know, miscommunication, especially on my part. I feel like it's big. No, it's okay. I feel like it's big on me because, you know, I feel like, you know, now I finally got to, actually get to sit down with you and, you know, with this whole situation and actually getting you on. I would like you to just introduce yourself to everybody on Slick Speaks on what do you do, and yeah, basically just tell us a little bit about yourself and tell everybody that, you know.
Okay, so an introduction.
Yeah, for sure. I just feel like I was strenuously making this longer than it's supposed to be, but yeah, tell a little bit about yourself.
I don't put recording in front of it because I do everything. I sing, I rap, I make skits, I do poetry, I do a lot. My name is Daniel, but I go by my stage name, Danny Anthony. I'm from Broward County, Florida. Been here my whole life.
So I should have never put recording artist. So we could take recording artist, right? I mean, we can leave it. I prefer
artist, yeah.
Okay,
I prefer artist. Okay. Just artist by itself, because I feel like nowadays the way that we're like getting pushed into a box, when I'm really trying to be on like some Donald Glover type of move,
out of the box.
Like, yeah, I don't want to just be like a musician.
Okay. So what inspired you to be like? Because, you know, at first, first time I heard you, like, it had to be on Teen Open Mic. When you did, you like, I say it had to be Riot 1.0. And basically, this is my first time hearing you, and I'm surprised that you were in the Broward area to like actually like get I don't know who actually really sat down and actually listened to the lyrics, but they really, like, you know, it really hits home, because not saying that, you know, the Riot should have like became as big as they were this year.
True.
But I felt like, you know, everybody had a little bit of Riot in them. It's just like, you know, we needed a catalyst. But what inspired you to be, I was going to say music, but like the person that you are, from your skits to your music to everything that you do overall?
Man, that is kind of a tough one. I think it's based on how I was growing up, because, you know, I went to a charter school until high school. So the charter school, like, is basically, if people don't know what that is, it's kind of sort of similar to a private school, uniforms and everything, but like not a private school. But I went to a school called Rise Academy, and for a couple of years they had a performing arts program and everything, and I was really interested in that. And around my time there, I kind of got more in tune with being an artist as a younger child. I had gone to another charter school previously before, Sunrise Community Charter School. Good times. And they had us do little Motown like nights and everything, where we go on stage with our class and perform different songs and everything. And it was actually around there when people found out at a young age I could sing.
So you was kind of doing like, you know, plays and skits and rapping and whatnot, like that, stuff like that. I'm just asking because, like, I wanted to do stuff like that. I wanted not rapping, but like, I wanted to do stuff like that. But I have a fear of stages. Even though, like, you know, the lights are on me right now, like, I don't like stages of, like, I'll say more than 5 people looking at me, because I will freeze and I'll be like, I'll just lose my whole skit. How did you do it? I'm not saying, like, I don't know what you did, but how did you?
Oh,
like,
no.
Break
But
that.
like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had stage fright for a long time, which is really funny considering how often I would be on stage as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But like, actually going, like, for example, I went to the Boys and Girls Club and they had a talent show every year.
Correct.
And every year I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna hold you. There were moments where I'm just staring at people and I'm like, I'm frozen.
Did you ever get to, like?
Um,
Did you ever get to the point where you looked at somebody in the eyes? Because I had that moment in time, like, but I wasn't doing like a free verse or anything. I was basically dancing, and I saw somebody that was looking at me, and then the fact that I saw them, I froze, and I'm like, you know what? I just lost my whole scene.
I did poetry in high school. I went to Stranahan. But we were at a competition called LTAP, and I wrote on a very touchy subject. I'm not gonna talk about what it was, just had to do with the X or whatever, you know.
X.
But
Okay.
she was there. She was there. I did not expect that. And when I was on stage, I'm looking around.
She just wanted to see if she had another chance. That's probably why she was there. She wanted to see what was the big hype about. Did you hear her feel? No, sidebar. Did you hear her feelings on that whole thing? Cause I gotta know.
I'm not even
You're not even gonna hold me.
But
so he is Danny the Heartbreaker, guys. So don't.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I promise.
But was it?
But no.
Was it more animosity in that? Like, cause I mean, I did write stuff about exes, but I threw them away because it was a lot of curse words. But you, performed.
I don't use like, if you've ever listened to my poetry, my music. I'm gonna probably do some more poetry because I have a lot to say that I feel like music can convey, but no, sometimes I feel like I would like to switch it up and just do a piece. Like, so you'll definitely get more of those in the future. So just be on the lookout for those. But it wasn't a lot of animosity. It was more like, I don't know, from a viewpoint of being in the wrong, but also being young and how naive you were and not being able to do or really think too much about what you do if you were in a relationship when you're older. So it wasn't a lot of communication on my part, mainly because I was always sick. So I was like,
so can you say communication was like a big thing in that relationship? I don't want to be Dr. Phil of this situation right now, but I was just asking because I'm nosy.
Most definitely. Like, that was a thing where I was like, as I was growing up, I learned that communication is a big thing, and I still suck at texting people back. If you like, how does Danny text you back? Oh, I texted him 3 hours ago, and I'm still waiting for a response. I try though. I try.
You got that light skin syndrome.
Better.
I do the same thing. But I have to touch upon like one thing that always, like, since my first time meeting you, and then you was doing the free verse of Riot. I know a lot of people.
Oh yes.
They hear Riot. They probably hear about the bad Riot, but you actually were spitting like actual like states and like not states, but like points of views, perspectives, and facts. Can you explain like what was the meaning of you actually producing something like that, especially being that we are in this pandemic and a lot of people are not going out, and tension with police. I feel like tension with police was always there, but like with the tension with police, law enforcement, and like literally everything that's going around, especially this election, what was your like mindset about creating both riots?
Oh man, so the first riot was a little bit after XXXTentacion passed away, and I was just looking at it because around that time, I was just fuming because I think there are so many shootings and incidents with people of color and police that aren't necessarily having light shed on them. So at that moment, I had already done, what was it? I think a remix on his Hate Will Never Win by a beat that I knew very well. It's a beat produced by Jay Dilla. So of course I'm like, yeah, it was a nice little thing. But after I wrote that, I was just sitting there and thinking, and I wrote what I would think would be just like a line where I'm like, okay, yeah, because sometimes when you get in your feelings and you just like have an idea and you're like, oh, maybe I'll expand on it. So the first line of the first riot, which was the remix, was Yeah, I'm black and I rap, that's a stereotype. And that was mainly because I was thinking about the fact that when you approach people sometimes, and as a young man, regardless of how your hair looks, regardless of like, how tall you are, whatever the case is, most people think, especially, more Caucasians, that you're
Facts.
trying to sell them a mixtape or something. I had a moment where I was at Sawgrass and I was kind of lost, and I was asking the lady, well, do you know how to get here? And she was like, when I was like, excuse me, the first thing she's like is like, no, I don't want to buy your mixtape. And I was like,
What?
yeah.
That's
And I'm like,
outrageous. Okay.
I was like,
I wasn't selling
in
a
my
mixtape.
eyes, I don't really look much like a rapper to
Yeah,
most people.
I don't think you do. I feel like you look like any. I would say around. I don't know how old you is, but like around.
I'm 19.
19. You look like a regular 19-year-old going on 20. You look like. I wouldn't think you would be selling a mixtape, but that's kind of like her stereotypical.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people walk up to her that looks like you that wants to sell them. You don't look like a Uzi Vert to me. I mean, you do have like the blonde.
Yeah. Oh,
I
this is
wish-
recent, man.
Really?
I've had blonde for like
I wish I could do that.
almost 2 months.
See what happens. See what happens when you can grow hair. I wish I could grow hair like that, but that's a sidebar question. But we.
Riot 2.0,
Yeah.
that one was a doozy because I was just looking for beats, and funny enough, it was a Joey Badass and XXX Tentacion type beat.
Okay.
It was produced by someone named Cadence, and he had the beat up, and he was like, it's free for profit as long as you give me my credit, then you're good to go. So
Oh, so it's one of those like beats that you find off the internet that he basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely, I mean, I search for them because college student, we struggling out here, man.
Facts. You
So
can't
I
find a
definitely
producer.
gotta find.
You can't find like an 808 Mafia. You can't find like a Juju on the beat. You can't find these people that make beat. 'Cause
Yeah.
they will charge you a lot of
So I
money.
was like really like, I listened to it a couple times and I was feeling it, and around that time was I was already kind of heated about Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, those two, and I was already like, yo. And there's so many more that I've looked up within that time period, and it's just been like, okay. And then even a resident of Broward County, Damian Martin,
Yeah.
he was in a car, and they were running from the police, Sunrise Police, and he hopped into a body of water. They're thinking that he was tased the first time and possibly tased, or the water was tased when he jumped in.
Yeah, I heard
So-
I heard that too. Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
being, what is it? Being like, I would say a public figure because your stuff is on YouTube and people, you can look them up on YouTube. How important it is to bring out that message that you are bringing out in the riot, because I feel like people
Yeah.
do need it, and some people will oversee it. How important it is to bring out that message.
I mean, a lot of people are like, man, you should have already gone viral, and I'm like, honestly, it's a bunch of patience. But back to the
Facts.
question
Patience
about
is key. Patience is key. Seriously.
yeah. Back to the question, I strayed a bit, but definitely Riot 2.0 definitely came to life after the George Floyd killing.
Okay.
Because at that point I had just already had so much I wanted to write about and talk about.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, I found this beat where I can express this feeling. And it literally took me 2 days to write. And that's only because the first day I'd stopped to help my parents out with something.
Okay.
And then after that, I just got right back on top of it. That next day, I recorded it. And funny enough, the next day was the teen open mic. So I was sitting there.
That's
So
mad
it's the
nice.
first time. So it was a month
Alright.
before. Yeah, it was a month or two before you'd actually. It was a month before you'd seen it.
Okay.
But right after I was done mixing it for them for the teen open mic the first time, and I was like, okay, I did that by itself. So, but it's mainly a collection of different stories and what I would think would be different feelings, not just that I feel, but that you would assume anyone would feel while watching these, because everyone's rioting and you're thinking, okay, this wouldn't happen where I'm from.
Correct.
And literally, while I'm at a little get together for my little brother and my little cousin for them graduating, little cousin's going to middle school. My brother just graduated high school. We're like watching CNN, and like I'm just watching how many different cities are rioting, and there's so much going on between peaceful protests and violent protests. And I'm
Did
like,
you go to like one of these riots? Because like I had my own experience. Did you go to one of them? Just
I did
asking.
not go to a riot, but I did go to a protest. And there's actually somebody in my video, Jay Berna. If you don't know who he is, he's now done a song with Trina and Fetty Wap. So
Okay.
proud of him. But
That's good.
he came out. He came out for a little bit,
Mhm.
and was helped with filming, and you know, he helped with my mid-till scene, and I feel like he definitely, him and my friend Rashid helped make that, you know, become like what I envisioned become a reality.
Yeah, because I have to say, like the visuals that you have are nice. Like the what I don't even know. Like I wouldn't even know the cost of budget on the whole situation, but the message that you post on both riots, especially with the visuals, and I have to compliment visuals. It doesn't have to be a Travis Scott type of event or like Travis Scott edited type of video, but the video really, I would say, really resonate with me because it's kind of like you are pointing out basic facts, and you are and the fact is, like, I like when you go into a black screen too. Like it catches me off guard. It's kind of like a more intimate moment. I'm like, okay, cool, he's in the black screen right now. Like it's just your face, just your head in the black. I'm like, okay, you got a different perspective. Like your perspective is like I can't say I would ever come up with it, but I really feel it. Like to the point I'm like, damn, bro, you gotta marry. You gotta. I can't say. I have to say old soul because like I didn't even expect you to be 19. I'm thinking like, dude, where have you been? Like, what?
It's funny too
to
because
create these concepts. Like that's great.
I've been writing about inequalities and injustice since I can remember, which was about 11. I was at the Boys and Girls Club, and this was before I found any form of flow. So I was just writing, and I mean, like, I'm just writing all of this and pointing out the differences between black people and white people, and the reason why the animosity between the two races in general, as well as other races, is very.
You think you think there, what is it? You think there can be like, you know, agree to disagree point, like an agree to disagree point between both races or all races?
I mean,
so we can live in actual harmony instead of like, you know, saying, oh, we can't.
I mean, definitely. I don't.
You think that
really
will happen in this? You think that will happen in your generation? Because I am older than you.
Honestly, anything is possible. Okay. I don't doubt that. Anything is possible. I mean, I do that in the most in a negative manner and a positive manner because I mean, look at who's president. So anything is possible, but most definitely. But I don't even at points consider myself just to be like, if they were to say I was a Black Lives Matter activist, I wouldn't even say that. I'm more so a person who believes that every human being, just no matter your race, your background, your religion, like I'm more like a just human rights activist in general because it's like the way the world is right now. You're forced to be in a box, just like, oh well, you want to support the environment, then you're going to be a climate change activist. You want to support Black Lives Matter, then you're a Black Lives Matter activist. But I just think I'm just trying to figure out why we can't be everything.
Out of the box. Yeah, facts. I understand.
I understand that we have our problems, right?
Correct.
And that's what that video was meant to point out too. That if these were killings that were reversed, if there was scenarios were reversed. So as you can see, we had Emmett Till, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, and also Eric Garner. And I specifically chose these events not because they would be easy to recreate, but because they all have some form of message within them. Because as you would notice, all right, how would I explain it? So the Emmett Till was not police. It was more so racism as a whole. And I felt that not only involving police matters, but just racism in general. And then, as you also noticed, I flipped the script. So instead of black people being killed, white people were being killed as substitutes, and that wasn't as a point of aggression, more so as it was to prove a point. Because if I could make you feel uncomfortable watching that and seeing that it's an opposite race if you're a black person,
Mm-hmm.
or make you feel uncomfortable as a Caucasian looking at it like, oh my God, then my point is to show you that it doesn't matter what color it is, because murder is murder.
Facts. And there's no like, I can't say you can't skate off a gray area, or you can't like, especially with police officers, they have a weird clause, a get out of jail free card that they can't get away with.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you point out that fact. Murder is murder. So how?
Mm-hmm.
Being that we are in this pandemic, you know, I'm pretty sure like your routine changed, everybody's routine changed. How has this pandemic changed out like the way you craft your material from Riot to like the upcoming projects that you have working on right now?
Ooh.
Yeah. I know for myself, I'll go first. I know for myself, I gotta get more stuff done at home before I even head into this, lovely place I call the studio. Because like I felt like I did have time in the studio, but like being that, I am besides the job I work after this, I know that I feel like I have to get everything done by 2 p.m. here, visually, recording wise, visual wise, because if I don't get anything done by 2, it's not gonna get done, and I know myself. So that's how I like my roots, because I felt like I wish, and I was complaining back in the day before this quarantine, like, bro, I never had time. Now I really never have time. So it's kind of like,
wow.
I be squeezing it together. So how about yourself? How has your routine changed?
I mean, for a definite portion, I've not gone to work in months. So at this point,
And where do you work at? Just asking.
I worked because they've given me an ultimatum of me having to
Who
work.
is they? I'm
Yeah.
gonna curse them out.
The Hard Rock. I was security at the Hard Rock.
You can
And,
you can be security for coronavirus if they don't wear a mask. Come on, Hard Rock.
Nah, so the
What
thing
happened?
was,
Yeah.
once it started to spread, I have an underlying condition. I'm asthmatic, which is funny because people ask me how I'm able to rap and sing or rap so fast or do
They
whatever
say
I
the
do.
same thing with me too. Cause I'm asthmatic too. They're like, how you be able to run around? How you able to like lift doors? How are you able to like actually, do the things that you do when you're asthmatic? I'm like, fine. I mean, I have God, and my mom
Right?
prays for me.
My mom is such a big part in that. Like, I promise, she makes sure, like, as nasty as some of the things are, she gives like me different remedies, home remedies. She has her certification as being a health coach, and she's working on stress management and things like that. But she's like been giving me so much homemade stuff, and as bad as it is,
I know.
it's only for the moment, but they work. Like, I can't even complain. They work better because
It's like
when I was on
weird
all the
teas.
meds,
It's like weird teas, right? Because my mom
Like-
does weird teas.
she does teas, but she also does things like, I have like garlic, onions, all them extra stuff blended up
Yikes.
with honey,
Hard pass.
and she just you start coughing, and she's like, oh, gives you a
Hard pass.
teaspoonful of it. No, but it really works, which is crazy.
She's Caribbean. She's Caribbean. You Caribbean?
Yeah,
That's probably
my
That's
family's
probably what.
Jamaican.
Okay, yeah, because my family's Haitian. They do the same thing, man. They're like, oh,
Most definitely. Most definitely, my routine has changed. Firstly, the job thing. It's already hard enough having asthma, but then to work through a pandemic with an illness that will most definitely, hurt you more than it would hurt someone your age naturally. And it's already so unpredictable what damage it can cause. But and then it's just like, ever since I've stopped working there, I've had more time. But then I do something and I'm feeling like, wow, I don't have any time, which is really weird. But I've actually found more time to write. And I was writing a lot before, but there's so many ideas that I've had that I've discarded or I've shaped differently. And proof of that is my Instagram remixes that I've been doing as of lately.
I know. I saw, bro. I saw. Well, if you guys, the link is right here. Okay, that kid Danny, the dude did it's Pop Smoke, and you know I love Pop Smoke. I mean, I should have known Pop Smoke before he died. This is sidebar. I should have known before he died, but you know, you did a nice job. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's a lot of people doing remixes of Pop Smoke right now that are like hot garbage, you know. But I only seen 2, and you were one of them, and my homeboy is another one. His name's called Joe Flow, but he did, I think, I don't know, I forgot what beat he used, but it was off the recent album. He did the Pop Smoke, but make sure you guys follow him because
I just did
with the remix.
I just dropped a Rockstar remix.
I gotta listen to that.
So between you and anyone else who's listening and watching,
Mr. Freddie,
who will be listening and watching, I am doing one for This Is America.
This is America.
And I'm gonna be switching it up again, and you will be getting to enjoy me do another, basically a mini music video.
Okay, so is this gonna be like no curse words on This Is America?
Oh, aside from the remixes that I've done, that if I use the chorus, they're cursing. Okay. I myself don't use explicitives. Okay. So all of my music has been clean ever since I started, I'm not gonna say professionally, but doing my own recordings and stuff since I was about a 10th grader. All of my music's been clean.
All right.
I don't find the need to curse in music. I may let out a word here and there in my personal life, but music-wise, even if it's to write "damn," I'm like, man, do I really want to use that? And then I just change it. I always find ways to match words and beats with syllables and whatever else. But aside from that, I've had more time, but it's been really weird because even with all the time that we would think that we'd have from quarantining and everything else, we really don't have a lot of time.
True. I would say, like, you know, you are like a light to the youth, being that you are younger than me. I can't call myself youth anymore because I passed that 25 mark, so I'm not youth anymore.
I don't.
It's okay.
I'm
not the
you
youth.
Can say that until
I'm
you're
not
30.
the youth anymore. I am the old man behind the microphone.
You can't say that until you're 30.
I'm the old man behind the microphone. But I'm saying, like, you are giving like a good message, especially the fact that you don't curse. So people hear the message more because you don't curse, and being that you use other words besides curse words, because you know you can get lost in translation with the curse words. Mm-hmm. And I know myself, I get lost in translation with the curse words because sometimes on some songs you just say, and I don't know. I listen to a lot of Future.
I find that it's possible to be just as aggressive without using curse words. Like, my voice cracked so many times in Riot 2.0, and I got my message across, and people were like, "Are you angry?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah." But I didn't have to, drop a bunch of F-bombs.
But you got your point across. How can you say you can inspire the youth? I would say not to curse, but people still curse. But how would you inspire the youth to actually pursue what they've been thinking about? Being that you are not just a one-dimensional person. See, that's a nice one. Yeah, you're not just a one-dimensional person. How can you inspire the youth to become more than what the world allows them to be?
Well, that one is a lot. And in my opinion, that one is the more difficult part, because definitely when you're talking about this generation's youth, and may they be under 21 or under 25, they I feel like from a young age, regardless of whether it's friends or family or anyone, I feel like we let people get to us too easily, and we need to all have kind of like a tougher skin, which is really crazy when you're talking about trying to get kids or teenagers to do what they want to do. But I mean, I started out the same way. I was doing rap, just like on my YouTube channel. If you go to the very bottom, then you just see it's nothing but just rapping. And then I started to venture off with a couple of videos, public interviews, different things like that, as well as a couple of skits. And that's because around a year or so into having the channel, I realized that I could do so much more.
The YouTube channel.
Yes, YouTube channel. But I realized I could do so much more in that sense, because I realized that I put myself in a box. I thought that if I had this YouTube channel, it would only be music, and it could only be music, and I shouldn't post anything else, or I wouldn't be able to, because everybody's like, well, you know, this channel's already doing that, that channel's already doing that. And I mean, if that were the case, then we would really not have any musicians if they always got told this person is doing that and that person's doing that. Like,
Correct.
I really, like, for example, we have I'll use, but actually no. I mean, when you think about it, rap or music as a whole has evolved, but I don't think you would find like anyone telling Tupac, all right, we already got enough rappers, go be a banker.
Okay.
Like,
True.
I don't think that you have even a newer generation rappers, like you have like Juice WRLD and X, rest in peace to their souls. Like,
Alternative, yeah.
They were like
They
two
pushed the
people
envelope.
who they most definitely didn't listen to anybody else when it came to, oh, you suck, you're trash, because they're prime examples of it takes time to get to where you're going, especially if you're starting from a young age.
Correct.
But when you do blow, then you'll blow. But you
Alright.
have to kind of ignore what people are telling you.
True. And being that, you have to ignore the people that's ignoring you. Being that, and also being that, 2020 is over, what will be your 2021 goal? And this will be like the last end-off question. And also, after the last end-off question, you could tell people where can they reach you for your music besides YouTube.
Oh, most definitely. So you said 2020 is over, but I mean, personally, I don't think that. I think that within the year of 2020, I can definitely achieve so much more. And I feel like the way that people have looked at this year, it has been horrible. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But it's only as bad as we make it. As long as you're still breathing, alive, and healthy, thank God for that. And also, every day is another day to push yourself closer to whatever dream you have. So my 2020 goals, as well as 2021, is to just continue to grow as an artist, to get better with whether it be skits, music, poetry, anything. And mainly, I mean, I'm working on 2 EPs, and it's purposely broken up into 2. They're gonna have 4 or 5 songs or so, but the first one is gonna be called Live Long Enough, and the second one's gonna be To Tell the Story.
All right.
And I mean, I'll probably drop Live Long Enough this year and drop To Tell the Story next year, because that would mean I've lived long enough to complete it. And
I'm gonna steal your goal. That's the thing. That's what I'm kind of like mental checking it off. I'm stealing your goal for 2020 because I thought it was
that is
over
fine.
for me.
It's never over. Like, as long as you're up and kicking, you gotta do what you gotta do. You feel me? And I feel like if you put into your mind that something is over, then it's over. But if you continue to push and push, and I know this isn't anime, but you continue to believe in yourself and your dream, eventually you'll get there. The thing is, I think that a lot of people give up too easily. So you're at the halfway point, and because I feel like I'm at a point where if I stop and okay, what do I do now? I've already invested so much time, I've already invested all this effort, so why would I want to waste that?
True. And on that note, I want to end on that note. Slick has spoken to Mr. Danny Anthony. Check out his music. His name is That Kid Danny on Instagram. 3Ds, not 2Ds, 3Ds, That Kid Danny.
There you go.
And also check out his new stuff on YouTube. And for next time, stay tuned to Slick Speaks. And Danny, thank you for having us sit down with me, man. I stole your 2020 goals, so thank you for that.
That's fine, man.
You dropped
It was
gems
an
on
honor
me,
to talk
even
with
though
you.
that. Oh, thank you. It's an honor talking to you. You dropped gems on me. It's an honor talking to you. Thank you, man, for the sit down. And I'm definitely gonna hit you up on Instagram as well, bro. You already know.
I mean, if you're trying to be in a video or you're trying to dance, I got you.
Oh, I can't dance anymore. I got a bad hip. Have a good day, all right, man?
You're not that old.
you are not taking my stage right now.